TheCrunchyLife. How you doing? We are on our next topic, and this is all about school. School, public school, homeschool, or unschooling. What are you into? What are you planning to do? What have you done? That kind of thing. Pros, cons, regrets, concerns. This is what we're covering this week. So, here we go. What am I planning on doing? Since I have a little one who's not in school right now, I have been completely 100% all about unschooling. Like, I've been drawn to it since the moment I heard anything about it. I started when I was pregnant, and when my daughter was born, I started looking at schooling options. I knew I wanted to homeschool. I knew that was exactly what I was going to do, period. But I didn't know anything about homeschooling. I didn't know the genres. I didn't know the curriculums, or that there was even a multitude of, curriculums. So I started looking into it, and I found out all kinds. You can do Montessori, you can do Waldorf, I have a problem saying that, Waldorf style homeschooling curriculums. There's a million curriculums online. You can go to HSLDA, and they will give you all kinds of references in ways to homeschool. There's curriculums online, there's curriculums you can buy and pay hundreds of dollars for, and then there's free websites. There's free online school curriculums, okay? And that's if you want to go the curriculum route. Every state has a different criteria for homeschooling. If you go again to HSLDA, I'll leave a link in the down bar in the description for this website, and it tells you state by state what the curriculum requirements are. Whether you have to check in with the state, the government, whether you have to take certain standardized testing, or whether you don't have to do a thing at all. And so it's categorized in color. It'll have like green, red, and orange. And that's what I've been looking at. In my state, thankfully and luckily, I don't have to do a darn thing. I don't even have to tell anybody that I'm choosing to homeschool. You don't have to even make a phone call. You don't have to do anything, which is really awesome. That gives me a lot of freedom of choice. Since I got time to figure out what I'm doing, I don't have to feel pressured to be like, so say you're in a different state, like Arizona. Arizona is also a very relaxed state, but all you have to do there is make a phone call. You have to tell your state, be like, we're going to do homeschooling, period. You don't have like standardized testing requirements. Whereas in like New York or Pennsylvania is really strict. You have to let your government know that you are doing homeschooling. You have to, and the kids have to pass a test, like an annual test after a certain age, and they have to pass the curriculum, so you have to teach them certain things. They have to pass a state requirement. And then in like New York, the strictest states, which are red, or I think red, yeah, you actually have to have a government official or somebody come to your house and evaluate your child. So everybody's different. And I've been looking at moving, I've been looking at places to go, and now, because of that, I pay attention to those homeschooling requirements, because I definitely don't want people coming up into my house, quarterly and evaluating my children according to some state standard. I want to have more freedom than that. But anyway, long story short, when I was researching all of this, I came upon unschooling. That was a whole other genre, and immediately my instinct was like, bing, unschooling. Probably the rebel in me was attracted to it because I'm like, anti-school, yeah, whatever. That's not primarily what it was, but it was the formulation, it was the philosophy behind unschooling is what attracted me the most. Now, I haven't decided whether I'm going to completely 100% unschool, but, because I'm going to take it as it comes. I'm going to go with the flow, so I'm not going to instill a hard standard either way. If she, by any reason whatsoever in the future, decides, I want to go to public school because I just think I'm missing out on something, I will let her. I will choose which public school, or it won't necessarily be a public school, but it'll be a school that's more like public school. I'm very anti-public school, so that won't be on the table. But yeah, so so I'm not going to be strict or steadfast in one way, but I am leaning definitely towards unschooling because the philosophy behind it is all about following the child's lead and following the child's passion. And children and people's, okay, let me backtrack for a second. People's adversity to something like unschooling is that they're like, a child, if you give a child an option to sit there and watch TV or play video games or learn, they're going to choose the sedentary, lazy mode. And that's not true. That is not true. That is not true for everyone. It depends on how you raise them, number one. But children, people, human beings, we are natural born learners. We are born to learn. We are born to ingest information and knowledge and take it in. We're just born, we're designed, we're hardwired to do that. That's why children learn so rapidly when they're young, because they're taking it in. That's why they ask a million questions when they're toddlers. That's why they want to know everything, because it's in our nature to want to learn. So if you foster that, if you grow that and encourage that, and then follow where their interests lie, and then when they're interested in a subject, you embrace that, you put the fertilizer on that, you encourage them in that direction, and you give them all the equipment and all the material necessary to fulfill and go forward in their interests. A child will learn and master anything. They will master things faster than they would in school, because they're in school, they're being required to learn regimented, non-interesting things that they might not be interested in. And when you do that, it dampens somebody's passion. If you have to go to work every day at some job that you hate, it dampens your passion for life. And that makes you more sluggish and more bleh, and all you want to do is come home and just bleh, because you're so worn out and so drained from doing something that you don't love, that you're not passionate about. The same applies for kids. Also, kids, again, going back to how you raise them, like, many parents just, don't think, they're not conscious when they have toddlers, and when toddlers are asking a bazillion questions, parents get so wrapped up in the whole stress and annoying factor of, God, you're asking me so many questions, and the things that we say to our children when they're in those impressionable moments, when they want to learn something, if we're constantly telling them to quit asking me so many questions, quit asking so many questions. I can't tell you how many times I've heard parents tell their children to stop asking so many questions. What do you think that's doing to their drive and their passion for learning? It's common sense to me. So, going back to unschooling and how it is in our nature to learn and be passionate. Okay. So other people's questions and concerns with homeschooling and unschooling is like, well, how would they learn the basics? How would they learn math? And how would they learn economics? And so on and so forth. Well, math is in our everyday life. You teach people how to count. You would teach them how to count with money. Teach them how to be responsible with their own money. It's very easy living day-to-day life and going through day-to-day life and letting the child be a part of your life and the ins and outs of everyday life within a society. You learn all of the things that they tell you to do in school. Economics, biology. Take a walk out in nature and learn about biology. It's very simple to incorporate everything you learn in school behind a boring, hard desk, and incorporate that out in life, in the real world, and show how it's applicable in life. I think it would be ingested much more palatable than just sitting behind a sterile classroom desk where you can't really integrate the lessons that you're learning on the chalkboard. You know what I mean? At least that's how it was for me, and everybody learns differently. So that's where I'm at, and that's what the philosophy of unschooling, why it has appealed to me so much, because it's really all about that. And Montessori is about that too. I know that Montessori has a little more of, I don't know, kind of, they're not regimented. They follow the child's lead, but you also direct and guide the child to certain projects as well. I used to teach in a Montessori school a long time ago in preschool, And it was really all about that. I mean, we directed them, okay, now it's time to do art. Okay, now it's time to do reading. And in those genres where we would guide them, we would just let them go at it. We didn't tell them, oh, draw a circle, use pink. We would just throw the colors out there on a table and let them paint however they wanted. So that's kind of the philosophy a little bit behind Montessori, is guiding them to these places and then letting them go freely. That's a very small synopsis of Montessori. And I like that too. Because you want to influence them. You want to show them, hey, look, there's this over here, and there's this over here, and see if they take hold to that. But if they don't take hold to that, then there shouldn't be a forcing of them being like, well, you have to learn this just because you might need it in the future, and it's just to get you on par with everyone else, you have to learn this. I don't agree with that. Like, everybody's different. Everybody has a different role in this life and in this society, and we don't all have to learn the exact same regimented things. And not everyone learns the exact same way. And there's this cartoon kind of picture floating around on Facebook, maybe you've seen it, talking about how children learn, and it has all these animals lined up in a jungle. Elephant, monkey, giraffe, hippo, fish. And you have this teacher sitting behind a desk in front of all these animals who are supposed to be the children, the students. And the teacher goes, okay, now everybody's going to climb this tree, and when you're done, you will be graded. And kind of like that. I don't know exactly how it's said. I don't have it in front of me, but that's the gist of it. And so you're sitting here going, well, an elephant can't climb the tree. The monkey will do pretty good, but, you know what I mean? Like, the bear might do okay. Kind of stuff like that. And that's supposed to represent the mentality of school. In school, it's so regimented, and everybody's supposed to take the same test. Regardless of how other people learn, everyone learns differently, but everybody better do it exactly the same, or you fail. And that's so messed up to me. I'm definitely not down for that. So I know I will be doing unschooling principles and whatever else I can incorporate in there. I will see as I go. I'm always looking and learning and researching because that time is fast approaching, but we're learning every day. Like, sometimes my mother goes, you better be preparing her for school and preparing her for homeschool and all this, and I'm like, Mom, we're learning every day. We do our alphabets every day. We do our numbers. We count every time we go up and down the stairs. It's fun. And she knows all of her letters and numbers pretty much at 2 years old. She skips a few often. We know our colors. Every time we pick something up, we tell you what color it is. It's like learning has already been integrated. Education has already been integrated into her life since she's been born. So, we're always doing that, and we're always ready for her to do more. Waiting for her cues, whatever she's in. And she's advanced, man. She's ready. She's on it. She's not behind at all. So yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at with homeschool. Pros, cons. Golly, I'm already at 13 minutes. I don't know how much I can cover, but pros, I mean, I think I already kind of covered what the pros are, Pros are just not being sterile, stagnant. You get to, it's hard to put into words. Cons, I guess people are afraid to homeschool. They're afraid that they don't know enough. And, in the day of information that we're in, the internet, you can look up anything, and you can learn right along with your child. All they need is somebody there helping them separate and look at things and rationalize and go, oh, well, let's look at this and apply it to real world. You don't have to know everything. You just got to provide the environment for them to learn and provide the information. And the information is boundless. We have it all at our fingertips now. There's no excuse why anybody can't homeschool. People think that it's too much work. Some people like that kids have that school time away from home so parents can actually get time to themselves and do their things in the day while the kids are at school. And that's understandable, I guess. But I mean, if you actually really need that time, you can always go find somebody to watch them, daycare, family, friends, whatever. You don't have to shove them in a public school where they're inundated with just oof. I don't need to tell you, if you're watching this video, you probably are aware of the downsides of public school, the mentality of the children, it's just the teachers, how they treat the children. It's just not my cup of tea, I tell you. So, and regrets or concerns, I don't have concerns. I don't. I'm fully confident in what I'm going to do, fully confident in homeschooling her. I look forward to it. I look so forward to it, and I don't think I'll have any regrets at all. If she wants to go to public school, again, if she wants to do anything, I'm going to be like, okay, cool, let's do it. I will teach her how to follow through. Like if we make a decision, say we pay for something, like we pay like $150 for dance classes or something. I'll say, if you don't like this anymore, we don't have to, but at least let's get our money's worth and finish our session. And then we don't have to renew if we don't want to after that. So that kind of stuff. I'll teach her follow through to a certain extent, but not forcing it by any means. But anyway, that's what I have. So 15 minutes already. Talk to you later. Have a wonderful week. Bye.